world, and say why music. Hello world, and say why music, and you can roll with it or refuse it. I say hey, ways of the world, this is my day. Something like BK happen my way. This is my time, I'ma shine so much.
Yo, oh wait, you're here. What's up? He be the one them call Timo.
And he is clearly AY Young, ladies and gentlemen. And this is
The Global Goals Music Roadshow.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is. Welcome.
Yeah, the guy's the only show that's designed to empower you to change the world with us, man. Shape this healthier future for the planet that we need. Our mission is to turn the people of the world, right? That's like humans, that's individuals, that's students, or as I like to call everyone being an outlet, right? They're an outlet in plugging you guys into this battery to power change using music.
The universal language of music. Now, I'm in the UK, he's in the US, and we're both change makers and music artists passionate about helping change happen because you can do it and we want you to feel involved like we do a bit. Now, we found our passion, our voice, our confidence through mucking about with performing and making music and art. And this is some of his music.
Oh, you know that. Oh, and this is some of his music. You know?
You have the virus, the modern malaise. It lurks in your mind like the sign of the end days. Out at the screen needs a big real world glitch. With a click, your instinct is to twitch. Come on, doctor.
Yo, that one was awesome.
Don't ask me. I'm just the conduit. Now, we want to encourage you to find your passion, your voice, your confidence, and feel part of writing and singing the new songs and stories of us. To plug in your passion, because passion is where change starts. And so we are asking, what's your passion?
What is it? Because we believe everyone's an outlet for change, right? That's you, me, the big corporations, all of us, guys. And I believe change starts with passion, right? Like you can really make change happen with your passion. So that's what the Battery Tour is about. It's an outlet for you to plug in and connect to your passion, no matter who you are. We want you to be this outlet, right? This outlet for change, Timo. And that's doing two things. That's taking an action, right? Making the world a better place, doing one thing differently. And two, power the tour, support this change that we are bringing here to the world.
Yes. Now, what do we call this show, man? What is this?
The People Show for changing the world.
It most certainly is. Now, AY is the US's young leader to the UN. He's one of only 17 around the world. He's basically a showbiz change maker. He's got a lot to do, a lot of meetings to attend to. We're lucky to have you, man. We're lucky to have you. And I'm basically here I just want to keep you topped up. That's my job here. Do you fancy some? Do you want some more of the?
I'm a little teapot, short and down. Me up and pour me across the pond.
Oh, there we go. There we go. As ever, no, that should be fine.
Battery cup.
Battery cup. Branded merch available at ayyoung.com.
Totally, and it's reusable.
So we have guests every week from around the world, and we have a couple of guests tonight, do we not?
Yeah, we got a few. Who do we have, bro? Like, what do we got going on?
I think it's probably time that we asked
Global Goals guests from the east to the west. So can you guess where the global gold guests are from this week?
Because they could be basically from anywhere.
I mean, yeah, dude, like pretty much anywhere.
I've literally never done that pose before. I saw you do it.
I should do it on the opposite side.
Now, our first guest, to anybody who follows my stream, I refer to this person a lot. And she's never been a guest on any of my shows yet. But we thought it'd be rather fun to have her on tonight. It's only the lovely First Lady of Momo herself. It's Caroline Peach.
Oh, sweet Caroline. Oh, oh, oh.
I never remember the words. Oh, baby. Welcome, Mrs. Peach. Where in the world are you?
Where in the world am I, Timo? I am in the UK.
Yes.
I'm on the south coast of the UK, near the island called the Isle of Wight. Very close, sort of in the middle, on the south coast. It's lovely.
Sort of in the middle.
Yes.
And I can crazy to have you on. It's crazy to have you on because I'm used to you're in the comment box, and I'm gonna miss the comment box today. But you're in person.
I'm the real thing now. I'm the real thing. Here I am.
No, it's kind of amusing.
I love this show. I love this show. It's such a brilliant mashup. A brilliant mashup of arts and music and creativity, environment, and you have such great people on. I love it. Thanks. Thanks for letting me come on.
No, really. I mean, I live with this fount of knowledge every day of my life and feel like an inexplicably better human just by proximity to Caroline. So there's so much interesting stuff we could share from her tonight. Mrs. Peach, first, before we bring in our next guest, what's your role? What do you do that links you to the environment and people and that stuff?
Well, you just sort of buzzword bingo there for me, Timo. It was you said the words people and environment, and those are my passion words, really, because they're the things that have always interested me, and that I've always wanted to sort of help improve and contribute towards making places better for people. So people and the environment really are my bag in a very general sense, and it can come down to some nitty gritty, but it can also be quite big. So I like to think and work at different scales. But yeah, those two areas. I'm a placemaker is kind of what I do. And I think a bit like a designer. So I overlap a bit with Timo with his design. And I like to solve problems. You've had people on here like to solve problems, and I like to do that too. But I like to work in a very people-centered kind of way and work with the environment, with empathy, and think long-term. All those kind of things. And actually, I was really interested in the person you had a few shows back. We were talking about permaculture because that's kind of where I was thinking. Anyway, I'm burbling on quite a lot here.
No, you never really burble. It's it's all gold. It's all gold, love, isn't it?
It's all gold.
You're referring to Ella Everett, who's in Barcelona.
Yes. Thank you, Ella. Yes, permaculture. It's that long-term thinking. It's that observe and try and work things out. What's best to do here, right now? This sort of bespoke problem solving.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh shoot! Okay, let's we got another guest though. Let's see who else we got before we get into the show. Timo, what's up?
Is he there? Is camera? He's in the green room. His camera's not on, but there he is.
I see. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Riley Voth.
Having a human moment, blowing my nose.
I thought you were finishing a hot dog.
The beautiful.
So, dude. Like Timo and anyone listening, welcome. This is the Global Gold Music Roadshow. I met Riley. I think it was on, like you knew it. He was on set of my an upcoming music video. He's an artist. He's a musician. Tell people who you are, man. What you do, bro. Like,
well, my name is Riley Voth, and yeah, we met just kind of the magic of the internet. I don't even know how we became friends originally, but that's just one of those miraculous things. So I that. AY was putting together a music video. I'm like, sounds like a fun opportunity. Let's go ahead and do it. And met some great musicians there. AY is a professional operation. It was a lot of fun, and I mean, it was a powerful presentation for sure. So,
oh shoot, yeah. You know what? Actually, like when people don't know, because I'm working on this Global Goals album, right? 17 songs about the sustainable development goals. Like what he's talking about, like this powerful piece that we're putting together for song number 3, like good health and well-being, and pertaining to like suicide. But yeah, bro, that was crazy.
it was awesome. Well, so I've been a musician for most of my life. You're gonna have to compete with dogs here in the background.
Nice.
Here. So I started playing piano originally when I was in 3rd grade and never really connected with it. I mean, the teacher was wonderful. So here's the music to play. There was no really creative element to it. And so I played for a few years and quit. But ended up picking up guitar just out of random circumstances. I wanted to sing for this talent show, and we discovered we needed a rhythm guitar player. So they showed me the chords to Smells Like Teen Spirit, and then kind of, yeah, and that was really the only thing anybody taught me for the first 2 years, but I took it incredibly seriously. I recognized pretty early on that like theory was such a fundamental necessity for bringing your playing forward. So I studied a lot of that by my own, but had some great instructors, ended up studying music at KU, University of Kansas, and then was at Belmont University in Nashville for a little bit doing music business. After I got so completely fed up with studying classical and jazz, and unfortunately in the academic world of music, I can also move in if that's disruptive back there. There's really no middle ground. You've got classical, you've got jazz, but if somebody wants to be a rock or a folk musician, I mean, there's kind of limited opportunities there. You've got some specialized schools. Again, I'm so sorry. Let me just take this inside here because I can't.
No, you're cool. It's funny you said rocker. Like if you want to be a rocker,
Well,
you know a little bit about that.
You got to think that might pay off later.
Well, yeah, you want to be a rocker.
Mm-hmm.
And I love all the training that I've had, and like the world of jazz, it's so expansive in the study of harmony and how all the components work together, that kind of coming back to more contemporary music, it gives the opportunity to just have a much open palette for what you can do. Instead of, if you know 4 chords, you can play them meaningfully, I'm sure. But if you know a bunch more, at that point, you can kind of let your ear sort of guide you.
Yes. But then you've got, as you say, that a broader palette of colors in your fingers as well as in your head. That's amazing. And I know from friends of mine who studied music properly, don't just muck about on keyboards badly, like me. They found that actually, if you want to do something really just unashamedly tuneful, once you're deep in the jazz, there's a lot of still old school tutors, I think, in music colleges hanging on in there who look down on just a good tune and or a good groove, And the point is that it's coming back to that stuff with the understanding of the awesome power of jazz that brings things alive.
Well, and I think that's very difficult for a lot of jazz musicians to separate themselves in the complexity to something like, playing along to Bob Dylan, which is like 4 chords, but the point isn't the complexity. The point is like the value in the lyrics and the approach to it. So kind of merging the cerebral elements of, the harmonies, melodies, all those kinds of structures with something that's more, personal with lyrics. I haven't even really gotten to that point yet. I've and I'd gotten so depressed in the past being in music, put all of your value into that, and it's like, again, the imposter syndrome sets in.
Yeah, everybody gets it, don't they? But AY, you can relate to this, of course, because as a musician, you've really earned your chops. You have gotten out there and played all kinds of styles of music, haven't you? To inhabit lots of different things.
All styles of music. But it's so interesting because, like, when you talk about music, it makes me think of the goals, like, because of the like think of it, even the goals as like genres, right? There's so many kinds. There's jazz, there's this, there's rap. You see what I'm saying? Like literally, look, that's how I see it. Like, And like, it's interesting, like Caroline, you're talking about how, like, you're, what do you say, like a people, you're more of like a people person, or like I can't remember the exact phrase. What was that? Gosh dang. People in the environment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she goes, people in the environment. And so as you're talking, Riley, and I'm looking and I'm thinking about these SDGs, or, as like genres, and then I'm thinking about people, right? You think about people, her passion for people, and like what connects people is music, right? Ultimately,
Yes.
whether it's jazz, whether it's whatever, music is that, to me, that connector that brings everyone together. And it's so cool to have you two on the show, because to me, it's like the living representation of environment, people, and music, and what the battery tour is, and what we're doing here, which is using that as a vehicle, right, to make real change. And so I say all that to bring it around to say, okay, well, then, and I don't always want to turn everything to music, Timo, but this is the Music Roadshow. So
it is the Go Goals Music Roadshow.
Right? I mean, I want to hear from you, Caroline, and Riley. Like, let's explore music a little bit more. Like, what, like, how can that be used, in the world that we're living in the future now, to truly make an effect on the environment, right? Like, Riley, us as musicians, how can we, use music in a way to like start really making, change?
Well, the funny thing is, like, when I was, 16 years old and really started getting into, Zeppelin. My dad introduced me to Zeppelin. I was playing like Nirvana and some of the more modern stuff, and my dad heard it and was like, So he handed me Zeppelin 2, and I popped that on there. A Whole Lot of Love. I was just like, no going back here. And so as I was really getting into these masters, Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, like this really guitar-centric stuff, versus what was on the radio, which there was like no representation of that at all. I mean, kind of the pop punk was sort of gaining some traction at this point. And so I thought, it's like, look, I would like to be a successful musician, not only just for my own selfish ends, but to hopefully inspire, a younger generation to not only listen to that, but for them to go back to, the masters and inspirations that I had found. And so life has a very interesting way of sending you towards your destiny. But just a couple of years ago, I had a conversation with a friend, and she was in foster care under really terrible circumstances, at age 14, kicked out of her family. And so she loved playing clarinet. She got it in 5th grade. That had gotten lost or stolen during the process. And she knows a ton of musicians, and has always observed that, like, there's some piece of equipment, a guitar sitting in the corner just collecting dust, drumsticks, picks, whatever, that wasn't being used. And she'd had an idea for a program that would be, just an exchange, essentially. So getting rid of all the stuff, cluttering your closet, and getting it into the hands of like low-income kids. So this just started as a conversation, and it sparked into, kind of a quest, if you will, to put together a program that would be, centered on getting low-income kids access to music and education, all that kind of stuff. So since then, I've pursued that, and I'm working on building a music program, the elementary school and middle school in Topeka, Kansas, where I'm from originally.
Amazing.
Is having
that's dope.
Yeah. So
using, building a program for youth to inspire them to make change. That's incredible. And I mean, I want to hear from you, Caroline, on some thoughts with people and connecting. And yeah, Timo, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I've got a good link here, because I know I have inside information that you, Caroline, your relationship to music, I think, is actually very similar to a sustainability attitude, because you love dance, don't you? Your relationship with music is physical. It's pushing your body through the experience, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm probably, if I was going to be in a band, which, because I'm not musical enough, but if I was, it would probably be rhythm and percussion if I had to, because that's the closest thing I can get to. Because I don't know if you probably can't see very well, but the picture behind me is actually some sketches. You probably can't see very well. I can't move the laptop, unfortunately. I'm all plugged in everywhere. I'm plugged in, AY. I'm plugged in. So I can't move. So I can't move the thing. Anyway, there's lots of pictures of people dancing behind me here, and I did it. I've done it drawings for myself, but it's actually of people moving and dancing, and actually that is something that is probably how I respond to music and feel the music and the rhythm and the vibrations of it more than generate music, if you see what I mean. But I do like a good sing as well.
Yeah, and
Ooh,
there's
I
something
like
about
that.
there's something about pushing your body through an experience that changes your mind, and that's very sustainability. But I do think it's time we very quickly asked you both.
What goal are you most plugged into?
Seriously, we need to know what goal you like.
Caroline, you're on 30 seconds. What goal do you most care about right now?
So hard. I find this really hard, but if I had to only go with one, it would have to be 11 sustainable cities and communities. Although I would say sustainable places, because I know global goals, the UN is very much aware that there's huge urbanization across the planet. So many people are gathering and growing our cities, and they need to be prepared for that change that's been happening for a long time now. But sustainable places, so even just down to the sort of smaller, more local level, we need more sustainable places. So you know, from a village, totally. It could be a village all the way through to city. So for me, it's the whole sort of scale of different types of way that we live, really. And actually a lot of different things, as many of your other guests have said. So many other goals interconnect across then on the cities one. But from a personal point of view, I'm interested in the health and well-being one, but also the clean energy, the food production one. Look, I'm going to show. Can I show you something?
Yeah, go on.
Go on. Can you see these?
Mm-hmm. Ooh, yeah.
I'm growing some stuff.
Let's go.
All around the house. All around the house.
All around the house. Every surface at the moment. These little babies.
Beautiful. It's beautiful.
You would love my wife. She has turned our house kind of into a little jungle, if you will. I mean, there's kind of absolutely everywhere here.
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, great job.
You know, it's up to me. I did have a mattress on the floor and a TV, which basically was a scenario when she moved in here. But plants difference.
And Riley, just not to cut you off too, I want to know. I mean, like, so you tell me, Riley, like, you know, if you took a second to look at what the goals are, you know, what do you connect to like the most, you know, out of the 17?
I'm going to be boring and go ahead and agree exactly with Caroline because, you know,
we have to
have plus 11 is like my favorite number anyway. So we have to have something within our community that is so robust that doesn't necessarily require a larger grid to respond to. And something as simple as like, hey, lawns are kind of a total waste of resources and time. Why don't we just turn our front yard into a garden, like a community garden just within your neighborhood? It's like, you know where to get tomatoes from. You don't have to spend money. Maybe you could volunteer a couple of hours to have access into, you know, a garden or something like that. But that's something that I believe for a long time we absolutely crucially have to do is build a sustainable community, even with power. I mean, good Lord, I mean, what would it take to have like a singular power, you know, either solar or wind within a municipality?
The energy goal is an important one here as well. Which is number 7. Ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, modern energy for all. That's big. You know, AY, I'm thinking about your project. This is the battery tour powering our whole show, and you're the UN's young leader. I'd kind of like to know more about that and the album project 17. So tell us about that.
Yeah, totally. You know, Riley, it's crazy because, you know, obviously what, you know, I'm known for is goal 7, right? Goal 7 and 13, doing this concert powered by renewable energy, you know, using the concert to raise money, using my art, my passion to raise money and send people access to energy. So you're right. A lot is possible But now, since becoming a young leader, I launched what I'm calling Project 17. And that's partly what this show is, man. Like right now, I mean, if you can focus, just on outside the circle and just look at what track one is, I'm making this album, right? One song for each of the sustainable development goals. Like, and it's mad crazy. Like the collaboration has been beautiful. Working with some of Earth's biggest artists, right? Plugging them into the goal that they care about. That's like the first phase of the project is let's, use music as this vehicle, right? To like bring people together, like you, like Caroline, like to connect people, to empower people to make change. And so that's what I'm doing, for the next 2 years as a young leader. That's what Project 17 is. But, shoot, man, we always like to show a little bit of the journey that got me to be this young leader of the world, guys.
Young leader of the world. He's a young leader of the world. I'm just riffing as we go. Sounds like an anthem to me. Somebody write this down.
Go.
Anyway, yes. And wait, hang on. I'm getting a
definitely in a major key here. Maybe
you're getting a call.
Yeah, I'm getting a call here. It's wait. It's yes. Hello. I'm getting something in my ear, and it's it's down here apparently, but it's not one I was expecting.
Oh.
The Global Girls Music Roadshow International News Bulletin, brought to you by top correspondent Timo McNewsface.
Not here. He's not. Timo's McNewsface isn't. So Timo McNewsface isn't here, and I don't know how to do the news, but we're getting a call. Yes, we're getting a call in now. Is that a phone call coming in from? Yes, I think this is from. Ooh. Hello, caller. You're on the news show, sort of.
Hello. Oh, how are you doing?
Is that the local rocker?
Yes, I've not figured out this modern technology, this thing to stream on internet. So I have plugged in, as you might say, locally.
Yeah. Well, we've made a terrible mistake, I'm afraid. If one of our researchers called you up for the Global Goals International News Bulletin with Timo McNewsface, I'm afraid McNewsface has not shown his McFace, and so I'm here, and I don't know how to do the news.
Well, I was supposed to do interview. I was supposed to talk about local transactions, local
right.
Way to go. I don't know why I'm being bamboozled here. Well, ask me question.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay. Well, I mean, I would say here's one. In the UK, the United Kingdom, there's a whole load of supermarkets, Aldi, Waitrose, a bunch of other supermarkets over here, a bit like Walmart. They're threatening to boycott Brazilian suppliers over deforestation, which is kind of a big deal. They're saying they're not going to buy things from Brazil because the government there is selling off too much of the rainforest. That sounds surprisingly interventionist for big business. Well, what do you make of that? It's international. Does that interest you, local rocker?
That sounds crazy. That sounds complex and very involved in all kinds of big words. And I don't know if I know, but I do know that I know who I need to know locally. When I go to the store, I don't even go to the store. I go to local market because local is best. I shop locally. I have grown as a musician locally. I am known locally. I get $500 just to show up because I know who I need to know. Just know who you need to know.
Well, yes, and marvelous. And you're really showing a sustainability attitude there, local rocker, which we should all probably take note of, I think. Yeah, I think we're losing your line, though.
One last thing.
Yes.
45 with 4 kids and possibly one on the way. I have achieved this.
I hear.
I know who I need to know. I shop local. I sing locally.
Yes.
People even pay me, as I say, over.
And that's
$500
yes.
Just to show up.
Yeah, what a shame. We seem to have completely lost the line there. So, get McNewsface.
the Global Girls Music Roadshow International News Bulletin. Brought to you by top correspondent Timo McNewsface.
A local hip-hop artist makes an international name for himself. He is the first artist to power his concert with 100% renewable energy.
It is a real honor to recognize Mr. A.Y. Young, the founder of Battery Tour.
It's incredible. Can't wait for you to see this. The United Nations is now throwing its support behind him.
Mr. Young has made a big impact in his young life, born in 1991. He's a singer-songwriter, a dancer, producer, entrepreneur, and sustainability advocate. He's staged and performed more than 800 concerts. He was named by the United Nations recently as one of 17 youth world leaders of the world, the only individual selected for that honor from the United States.
Forward to stimulating this local economy further, bringing entrepreneurs together, bringing businesses together, bringing the world together so we can make some change.
I'm AY with the Battery Tour, and we're here in Honduras. It's beautiful. We're going to bring power, solar energy, medical supplies, reading glasses, all those things to the people of Honduras. Hey, mama.
If it's true.
I love the keys, Miss Caroline. If we still got Riley here, let's dive back in. Tell me more.
I just love this show because it's just such an amalgamation of different things. And one thing I do love is the fact that actually we're talking about serious stuff, but we don't have to be serious. We can have some fun. Why not?
We don't have to be somber about it. That's the point. And in fact, joy is power. So yes.
I mean, expand on that more. It's what I've noticed though with renewable energy and climate change, all these different words and things and sides, right? There's this side, that side. It just seems all so oh, we're gonna die. And what do you think about that? Obviously, you're saying that we're doing it a different way. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you are doing it differently, and I think there's something in positivity that is that to attract people to change, not to just it's the carrot and stick thing, isn't it, for leading people on and helping with change. You don't just tell them what not to do. You make something so attractive and so desirable that it's logical to do it and to join in, and because it's fun and it's attractive.
I love that. And the question is, how do you do that? Even with Riley, you hopping back in, it's you talked about building something for K through 12. And Timo, as the Battery Tool, we know all about K through 12 schools. We got outlet teachers making classrooms. But how do you take what Caroline's saying, right, about to attract people? How do we attract this young generation, to want to do, sustainable stuff and life-changing, world-changing stuff, bro? Let's talk about that, guys.
Well, I like to use allegories for everything, and one of my favorites in terms of societal growth or whatever is akin to a thermonuclear explosion, in which you have 3 detonations. The first one is key. It's a very small detonation that brings you to a fission response. Sorry, Timo, are you trying to?
Yeah, no, I'm enacting the fission response. I'm doing the small one. Ping.
You get the small explosion to start it off, then you get fission, which this is simultaneous, that goes into the fusion reaction there. So a lot of people want to skip that first step. It's everybody else, you're the ones that need to change. It's fundamentally, how's your life looking? Is your how are your personal relationships? How's your internal life? How's your, space? So my attitude is like, clean your own house, tend to your own garden first, and by happenstance, put that in the dictionary. If you have enough gravity to your path, then you will just naturally meet those people around you. So I think skipping the first step is the easy thing to do.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Way that's like beyond criticism, essentially.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, Riley. There's something about the honesty there, but something I learned from this show is the idea of plugging your passion in. That's sort of how maybe what gets people wanting to put their own house in order. And when you find a passion and then plug it into the change, and that suddenly passion's where you get going and you get, oh, I could do more and do this. And I found with sustainability, you pull at the thread of one thing, you end up pulling at all of it.
Yeah.
So that's how you can bring about the change and make it attractive. I think AY is actually helping people to actually find out what their passion is, what they really care about, what makes them want to get up in the morning.
Yeah.
And go and do something.
Yes.
What activates them and gets them excited and enthusiastic and do those things.
I mean, that is literally like exactly what I believe firmly, and like even like when we talk about our outlet teachers, which by the way, we got an explanation. This is what's happening in the schools. You already know, Miss Caroline.
Hey y'all, I'm Amy Hillman. I've been an educator for 27 years. Science is my thing. Welcome aboard in getting connected to become an outlet. I am a hashtag outlet teacher, and I want you to have a hashtag outlet classroom. AY and the Battery Tour have put together on this site some of the resources you're going to need to feel successful, bringing your learners in to make a change. There are 17 different global goals on the UN Global Goals page. Now that's many ways that we can reach out and become an outlet. AY uses his music to connect and make changes to become that very outlet. How will you become an outlet? Welcome aboard.
Yo, we're totally outlets. Like, so in schools, that's what's happening, right? These kids are taking their passion, Miss Caroline, right? Exactly, dude. They're taking their passion, they're freaking looking at the goals, and they're taking an action. And it's just nuts. Like it's just because everyone's led by their passion. Right.
And we've heard from Amy and other outlet classroom teachers, and they often dial in, don't they, from their classrooms, and the kids are really excitable about what they're doing. But you go into those classrooms physically when you can from COVID, don't you? And you've been in there getting them whipped up and hearing what they're excited about.
Yeah, totally. But you know what I noticed, and that you harp on, Timo, all the time, and I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts about this, is what also is like a key component of change and motivating people to use their passion? It's storytelling, right? It's a story, a genuine story that connects the people, kind of like this.
Yo, so I'll tell you guys a personal story. Like, after I got off this TV show called The X Factor, I wanted to perform and do my music, and I kept being told no. So I figured out that I could store energy in batteries, and I could power anything. So that's what led me to start achieving goal number 7 and getting the world plugged in. Finding and meeting outlets like you guys, plugging you into the Battery Tour, and changing the world together.
Yo, so tell me more about you guys' story.
I have to say, I was going to mention about Riley's comment about. Sorry, he's that way. Riley's comment about. And I can see why you guys have problems with that now. I was having the same problem.
I know, right? It's hard. It's like, you're here, Timo. Okay, what's up?
So it's a special test for all the guests. Can they point in the right direction? But what Riley was saying about the sort of the personal and getting your own house in order, and then sort of moving on then to do other things beyond that. I mean, I've got a project I'm starting, but I'm not ready to talk about it yet. Another time. But the thing I'm working at is exactly what Riley was describing, which is actually thinking about your personal life, how it connects with other people, relationships with community, and then how that might impact and influence your behavior and its impact on the environment. So I can tell you more probably another time, but it's just something I'm working on, and I totally know where Riley's coming from that way.
Are we talking about the nuclear explosions at this point, or what? Anyway, you're so right about being honest with your stories, and so many people have these like rackets created around them where we're not able to be honest about ourselves. Personally, I was diagnosed bipolar when I was 22, but there were many stages before that where you could see these oscillations of maybe hypomanic versus depressive symptoms. The depressive ones are obviously, at least in my experience, more obvious throughout childhood, and certainly had some crazy things too. I think it's very useful to lose your mind completely, like the local guy that we had coming in there.
The local rocker.
The fun approach here, but like I try to be as honest and open with my scenario in terms of mental health as possible, and I think it's a humanizing element with anybody that I meet. It's probably had something emotional turmoil or otherwise in their lives. Just let them know it's like there are ways out of it. Obviously, you just and I've been very, very fortunate enough to have a lot of mental health resources, friends that understand my situation, and that's something that a ton of people don't have. So I think that especially when it comes to the youth, arming them with information, it's like, hey guys, like we don't need to take ourselves too terribly seriously here. And, just giving them tools to deal with any kinds of emotional turmoil that will inevitably happen throughout their lives there. So that's something, with this music program we're putting in place, we want to have, a component in which we have people trained as therapists, with some sort of psychological background to deal with kids, especially, behavioral issues with kids, and let them know that it's like, hey, these things are a byproduct of trauma, of course. We don't have to be so blatant with the conversations with these kids, but guiding them through that and letting them know it's like, look, these things are out of your control completely. It kind of boils back to the serenity prayer of God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And that's that's an incredibly powerful statement there that a lot of people don't understand. There are things that are just kind of totally out of our control. But
we have an illusion. There's like an illusion of control, I think, that people think that they should have control. Or that, Tim.
I'm just being an illusionist now.
Yeah.
Timo, I'm hearing a lot though. Like overall, I'm hearing go within, and I always talk about within. I'm hearing, when you say mental health, Riley, what we're talking about actually goal 3, which is all about, it falls under, and then, education is huge, right? I mean, not only is education a goal, which I think it's goal 4, right? Speaking of goal 4, reaching out to Shakira to collaborate with me on that record. But education is huge, right? We have to equip people, with the right weapons, I guess, to fight the other sides of humanity that we have to face, right, Timo? I mean,
no, I agree. And there's an art principle here where what Riley's talking about, what we're all talking about, and I know with inside information what Caroline's working on her project. There's power in personal testimony, where preaching divides people, especially in a binified time like ours, where we're all quite divided. Personal testimony is powerful because it cuts across no man's land. You can transform a difficult circumstance with an experience when you make music or when you make art. And personal testimony, you can't argue with someone else's experience, and it can be freeing to hear somebody say, "Yeah, I was broken." And go, yeah, well, I know what that feels like. And, over here, I read only a couple of weeks ago that in the UK, this will be probably the same everywhere in some sense, 20% at least increase in demand on mental health services, especially from children in the last year since COVID. So it was bad before. Now with COVID, you know, we've got a lot of honesty to share with each other to prop each other up mentally at the moment.
Wow, yeah. I mean, that's right. That's rightly said.
Yes. And on that note, very subtly, I think it's time for...
And now I'm going to perform live.
Subtle, right? Now, AY, do you want to perform tonight or...
Totally. I'm performing right now.
Hey, I just want to dance, and she ain't got no man. Make you some mama, see the baby, put me in a trance. Okay, okay. Hey, just hit the dance floor, hit the dance floor, underlay. Right now, underlay, yeah. Hit the floor like underlay. Me conscious too, if you wanna stay. All you single and take a place. You Cali into like a summer day. Make it mine, cause you my babe. Mommy just high like a fever, dressed like a diva, that don't change. Spinning these arrows, hey, and she ball like the whole day. Hey, come on inside, so was at the drop on C pop. It says a lot, when you chart top, I can envy not, when they drop. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay, okay. Hey, hit the dance floor, hit the dance floor, underlay. I like me better when how he is, how he is. How he is, how he is. And there he is, how he is, how he is. I like me better when how he is.
Oh, I like me better than knowing you. Look how quick I changed shirts. Good thing I wear the same shirt all the time, right?
Amazing. Amazing. Are we getting a live performance as well as a recorded one?
No, that was it.
Oh, okay. Oh,
No,
fair
I mean,
enough.
I would love to perform live, but like, first of all, Caroline, I wanted to thank you for being on the show. Like,
Thank
and
you.
Riley, dude, oh my gosh, you guys are freaking dope, man. And it's so good to meet you in person. I missed you in the chat box. Go ahead, Riley. I didn't hear you.
The last 30 seconds there, I was disconnecting from my awful Wi-Fi here, which is something
Fair enough.
that
It's something that we got to fight through.
clean water, you know.
It's yeah, very nice, good
It's
clean
all
water.
part of it.
Well, I think it's you know, it's lovely that we're all together, and I think we could probably have a lovely kind of emotional send off to the end of the show now, and probably AY could, you know, maybe man, you'd like to kind of give a little, I don't know, a little kind of sum up at the end here tonight, sort of.
Oh
bring
yeah,
us all
like
together.
a wrap up. I know I can
reach
totally
into your heart and, you know, find something that
first,
kind of.
Let me do this first. I want to lay some groundwork. Timo, next week we're gonna have Sarah Vaughn on. She's Mary Claire's Chief Purpose and Sustainability Advisor. So I do want to throw her name out here and say I'm so looking forward to having Sarah Vaughn on the show.
Okay.
Yes, dude. And like you talking about a wrap up, like now.
I think just go with the flow and feel, you know, something that could just lift our spirits as we go home. And
I mean, I literally have a scout meeting though. Like I literally have that at 2:00. I have this scout meeting with
but no, I mean, we did
this. Maybe he can play his guitar. Riley, I can't stay that long, bro. Like
reach in and bring.
Guys, I'm gonna have to go. Riley, play the guitar for him or something like. I mean, next time, Timo. I promise, bro.
It was so close.
Bro,
yeah, but if you could.
So I just made this guitar pick anyway earlier today. So
you just
we'll
want
how well it works.
If you just want to fill in. Yeah. No, it's probably good. Just fill in. You know, AY. There he is. Showbiz change maker had to bounce. So so much for our emotional ending. Yeah. Well, anyway, so it is just.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say it is just us now, and there's that there he is. There's the spinning chair of the spinning chair of busyness. He's gone. So that's that. And I just want to thank you two guys and see if you've got essentially what I'd like, Riley, is for you to play us out tonight in a minute, if you'd be happy to.
Sounds good. Well, I could say good. Before you can be an artist, you have to have clean water, and that goes into a gigantic conversation maybe for another time there. But this is a song.
Okay, well, I just before you jump in, I just want to hear say thank you to you both ever so much
not
for
holding on to.
Oh, sorry, can you hear me? I was going to say thank you both for being in our show tonight and for sharing everything. Just with it, before you sing, Riley, have you got anything else, both of you, that you'd like to share? Caroline, you first. Have you got anything you'd like to say before you go?
I think it's just keep you guys doing what you're doing and just encouraging people and being slightly bonkers about it, so that everybody can just be encouraged to just do one thing and support AY, support you, support the show, and change the world. Thank you.
Thank you ever so much, Caroline. We've got so many other things to share from your massive, brilliant brain in the future. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye. Ciao for now. And let's put some heat under the curry on the stove. That'd be lovely. Bye. And Riley, can you serenade us a little bit while we go out? And if you can give us a bit of the song, and then I will give people some details as to how they can get in touch with us.
Absolutely. Well, harking back to what Caroline said earlier, dance in all of my spiritual journeys, it boils down to me to just dance. Can't we just be shameless and dance? Like, good Lord.
Dance. Yes.
Dance, and not being afraid to be seen. So this song is also about not holding on to love that serves no part of us, essentially. It's called Landmark. Hold on. What's that last chord there? Sorry. Don't you hold on. Let it go. Or else you never know. The price of looking back can get you nowhere. It only knows you hostage from unfamiliar love. It's the other day, hanging by a wire, but I have to say I love you, but there's no way I can say maybe I was
Oh, I want to hear more, and we're breaking up.
Never change, but won't you hold on? Let it go, or else you never know. The price of looking back can get you nowhere. It only holds you hostage from familiar. We'll just leave you with that there.
Thank you ever so much. Cheers, Riley. If you want to just keep giving us some chords as we go out, can you keep giving us some chords while we go out?
I'll give you something nice from Django. It's called
That's lovely. Some Django Gypsy Jazz. Lovely. This has been the Global Goals Music Roadshow. I've been Timo Peach. You've been listening to AY Young, of course, and our guest Caroline Peach tonight, and Riley playing for us some beautiful gypsy jazz. Thanks, man. We have spoken about people and planet, and how music is a universal language to help people deal with mental health and unlock things. We spoke a bit about personal testimony and how that can unlock, lift burdens, frankly, when you hear somebody else saying, yeah, I've been there too. And I am grateful to my new colleague, Riley, for giving my terrible fingers the night off at the piano. And if you want to be on the show and testify how you're plugging your passion in, and as you saw just now, register at ayyoung.com, jump on the Battery Tour tab, and register you and your interest in what you're doing, because we want to hear your story, plug your passion in. Until next week, ayyoung.com. This has been the Global Goals Music Roadshow, and we'll see you next week.
Thank y'all.